Welcome back, guys. Let's analyze what the stock market did today, Thursday, March 17, 2022. For the record, I'm still long the S&P 500. I ended up selling half of my position today. If you're curious about my transactions, let me go to the 5-minute chart and see the transactions. This is a 5-minute chart, and this is where I sold my first one quarter of my position. One quarter of my position was here shortly after the open, where the arrow's pointing to. This is the open. Second transaction, the other quarter of my position was here when the S&P 500 dropped just below 43.95, and those are the transactions for today. Reason why I sold, it's moving too much too fast. So I always book profits along the way. Let's go back to the daily. So this is the daily chart of the S&P 500, up more. This is a big move. I hope you guys caught this move. More than 200 points in 3 sessions. That's a big move. Levels, important levels for tomorrow that I'll be watching will be today's low and this pivot point around 43.30. Pulls back, I would expect some type of consolidation around this area. If it dips below that, really the other area where it could find very strong support will be around 4,300. This area here with a 5, that's a 5, the 20, and this pivot point around 42.90. If we push higher tomorrow, I would be very surprised if it pushes above the 50-day moving average. Not only that, if it closes above the 50-day moving average, that would be a very strong, how could I say, a very strong move. If that's the case, I would probably liquidate my position. I would expect lots of resistance here around this level, 44.30. This is a pivot point and the 50-day moving average. Up here, you have another pivot point and then the 200-day moving average. So this area here between 44, say 44.30 and 44.75, that will be very strong resistance, especially if it tries to push above that tomorrow. It really needs to take a breather. Like I said, this is a big move. 3 days in a row. So even if it takes, a quick break, that will look still very bullish. I think that we're finally getting more than a 2-day uptrend. So far, 3 days, I expect a pullback. As a matter of fact, if I need to guess, I'll say that it's gonna trade above the 50-day moving average before it trades down below the 20-day moving average. Of course, that's just my opinion. We'll see what happens, but it looks very bullish. Now for the NASDAQ 100, big update also, closing at the high of the day. That was very bullish. For the record, I'm still long the NASDAQ 100. I sold half of my position today. Same type of transactions as the S&P 500. They executed around the same time, probably a difference of a few seconds. Levels that I'll be watching tomorrow. I don't really see much, say, resistance between today's close and this level up here, 14,300. But up here, I do see very strong resistance. I doubt we're going to see this tomorrow. That's a 50-day moving average declining here. I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow. In the next couple of sessions, I think we're going to see a retracement before that happens. If that happens, for support, this will be a very reasonable area of support around 13,800. That will be the low, today's low. This pivot point and the 20-day moving average. So this should be very strong support. Dips below that, then it doesn't gonna it's not gonna look too bullish, or simply means that this move, it is not as strong, but of course it's still very strong uh, support around this area. Based on this move, I think any pullback or retracement will be an opportunity to go long. I will not be looking for a short setup. Anything, like I said, once it dips below this level, then I'll say it's bearish. But there's a big difference, big trading range between here and today's close. So anywhere in between here, I think it's still going to look very bullish, especially if it can stay above the 20-day moving average. Now for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, same as the other indices, no exception, big update. Now it's pushing is right below the 50-day moving average. If it trades above that tomorrow, I really doubt it's going to close above that. Such a big move, 3-day move. So expect, don't be surprised if we see some type of retracement before we push higher. For the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index, this one looks a little weaker than the other indices. This one is trading, found support around the 20-day moving average. Very nice close also, but it's far away from the 50 and from the 200-day moving average. Support, today's low. That means if it dips below that, that would break, it would be a dip below the 20-day moving average, so that would not look very, very good. But based on this move, don't be surprised. I'll be very surprised or more bearish if it dips below this level around 3,200. That's where the 10 and the 5-day moving average are currently. And the Russell 2000, whoa. Of all the indices that we just analyzed, this is the only one trading above the 50-day moving average. Am I surprised? Yes. The fact that we closed way up here around 205, that's a pivot point also, resistance. I was expecting, a push above the 50, but I didn't think that we would close above the 50, much less way above the 50. That's like 2 points, about 2 points above the 50-day moving average. This one looks very strong. I'll be watching this one very closely. Retracement around the 50 or even down here will be very welcome. I will be looking for a setup to go long. Really depends what the setup is. Like I said, it could be right under the 50 and probably buy once it pushes back above the 50, or perhaps we get some type of consolidation up here and then push higher. We'll see. If that's the case, I might be wrong. It might gap much higher tomorrow and keep going. If that's the case, then I'll do nothing. I'll just watch it for now. But this one is very strong, back above the 50-day moving average. Beautiful. Guys, thanks for stopping by. Remember, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Remember to always be prepared, have a trading plan for the day. Good luck trading tomorrow, and thanks for stopping by.